everyone. Welcome to the show today. Today, we are going to talk about one of the most common traps that we as humans fall into, and that is what I call the when-then trap. You've experienced it before. I guarantee you have. You probably are living in some form of this trap right now as we speak. And the problem with this trap is it has us focusing on an end goal that doesn't always yield what we truly want. And it's a source of struggle for a lot of people. Most of the time, people don't even realize that they're in it and they don't see it for themselves. So what is it? What is the when-then trap? The when-then trap is a scenario where you say to yourself in your mind, when I achieve X, then I will get or I will feel Y. And it's something we do in almost every area of our life. I've talked about it briefly on this podcast before, but I want to give a few specific examples today because when you start to recognize the when-then trap in your own life, it's easy to understand why you might not be feeling the satisfaction that you're hoping for when you achieve things and how you might adjust your way of thinking. So not only do you feel a greater sense of achievement at the end, but the process to that achievement is a lot more fun along the way. Okay, so first let's zoom out a bit. The reason we do anything in life as humans is to achieve or experience a certain feeling. I mean, think about it. Why do you do anything in your day? Why do you get up early or sleep in late? Why do you exercise? Or why do you avoid exercise? Why do you eat certain things? Why do you have routines in your day? Why do you scroll social media? Or participate in certain hobbies like playing on a co-ed softball team or going to trivia night at your local dive bar? Why do you have big desires like earning a certain amount of money or driving a specific car, having a certain home, or going on a certain trip? It's all for the feelings, baby. Everything we do is so that we can feel a specific feeling. Now, who knows this better than anyone? Marketers. Marketers do. People in sales and marketing understand that humans are intrinsically motivated to act based on feelings. There's a whole science to this, and they're incredibly good at leveraging this idea. And this might seem very obvious as we say it out loud, but we rarely think about feelings as being the root motivations behind the things that we do. We're not conscious of it. If we get up early and exercise, we might say to ourselves, well, we do it because it's good for us. It clears our mind. It helps us get in shape. And while that's all true, what it's actually about is the feelings, feeling strong, feeling proud, feeling energized, excited about the day, feeling confident in our skin. When we choose certain foods, it's all for a feeling. And that might be excitement or joy, or maybe a rush of dopamine, or even a feeling of connection or tradition or ritual with people. When we think about earning a lot of money, what we're really after is feelings of freedom, abundance, opportunity, adventure, excitement, joy. When we are seeking a loving partner in our life, what we're really in search of is the feelings that go along with that partnership. So feelings like intimacy, love, connection, teamwork, joy, togetherness, belonging, all of those things. So you can kind of see how this works, right? But what happens in the when-then trap? In this scenario, we say to ourselves things like, when I lose 15 pounds, then I'll be happy and feel self-confident. When I make this certain amount of money, then I'll feel security and a sense of pride and power. When I meet the love of my life, then I'll feel worthy and whole. It might be as simple as, when I finish this project, then I'll have more time to play with my kids. Or when I'm not so stressed out, then I'll make time to reconnect with my wife and start planning date nights. Or when life is not so crazy, then I'll start working out again. The reason this is a trap is twofold. First, many times this scenario, this when-then situation, it's a procrastination of something that we know would be beneficial for us to do. It's simply a delay. We're stalling, we're kicking the can down the road. And that never feels great because ultimately we aren't taking ownership of our circumstances and our life. And this particularly applies to those examples like, oh, when I'm not so stressed or busy or tired or I have more time, then I'll do these things that are important, like focus on relationships or health or quality connection. We know that that doesn't work out very well. But it's the second reason that I actually want to focus on in this conversation. And the second reason that it's a trap is because we believe that the destination or the end goal is what gives us the feelings we desire. But so often it doesn't. So often we're working to achieve, but when we achieve that big goal, the feeling doesn't live there. It's not the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. This just happened in a conversation with a patient the other day. He had finished running his first Ironman triathlon, and he said to me, Steph, I was really hoping that when I crossed that finish line, I was going to feel elated. I was going to feel something amazing. And I said, well, what did you want to feel? And he said, well, I was hoping I would feel less empty. I was hoping that I would feel more self-compassion, that I would feel proud of myself. He's like, but I didn't. I just got to the finish line and I kind of felt nothing. And that was so interesting to me because that was a perfect example of the when-then trap, and he fell right into it. Why? Why is it that so many times we reach the end destination and we still feel empty or a sense of lack in regard to what we were hoping to feel? It's because we've made the feelings contingent on specific circumstances. We've said to ourselves, I can't feel these things until I reach this goal. And we're not even conscious of it, but that's essentially what we've done. And because we've done that, we've then neglected to practice feeling those feelings within ourselves along the way. For example, when we say in our mind, if I lose this 15 pounds, then I'll feel self-esteem, self-confidence, pride, worthiness. Now, I can speak confidently to this situation because I see my clients do this all the time, and it happens like clockwork. The 15 pounds comes off, and the feelings still don't live there. They don't feel all those good feelings inside like they thought they would. But if you think about it, it makes sense. For so many years, someone might be beating themselves up, feeling shame about their appearance, speaking negatively to themselves in the mirror when they wake up in the morning, listening to all the saboteurs in their head. I mean, those are deep patterns of thinking. It's a very specific mindset. And the 15 pounds lost, that doesn't change the self-talk or those limiting beliefs or those negative stories. It's not just reaching that destination that will give you the feelings you're hoping for. It's the practice of feeling those feelings more and more and more in your everyday life. It's like a muscle. You have to flex it a lot to be able to build it up. And this is the same scenario when you listen to people who have a great amount of wealth speak about their sense of happiness and joy. You've seen the research. You've heard the saying, money accentuates who you really are, meaning if you are negative, fearful, or critical person before you have money, you are the same way with money, only accentuated. If you are a kind, loving, generous person before you have money, you'll be that way with money, but to a greater degree. And the point is, the end goal doesn't change what's inside. It doesn't change our internal terrain. We have to do that. And that is why we have to practice the feelings that we're hoping to feel. And when we really get down to this and we dig for the root issue, which you know I love to do, I love to get to the root of it all, it comes back to ownership. Because in the end, nobody can make you feel anything. External circumstances or material items can't make you feel anything. They're just things. It's all just facts. They're objects. It's data. You are the one feeling the feeling, having the thoughts. You are the one who attaches meaning to the circumstances in your life. And it's these patterns of thinking, it's your programming, it's the thoughts that you choose that will influence the feelings that you have about your circumstances in your life. And I know you've seen this before because you can have two people having the same experience and they have a totally different perspective on it. They attach different meanings to it. We are the ones who feel the feelings and have the thoughts. So let's go back to this example of somebody losing 15 pounds. If you have somebody who has worked so hard to lose excess weight, but they haven't done any work on their mindset, the thoughts that they have about themselves, their perspective on the world, their saboteurs that tell them they're not capable or they're not worthy or they're a victim in life or they're not able to change or nothing ever works out for them, What do you think happens when they lose 15 pounds? It's still not good enough. They don't feel the feelings of pride and self-confidence and self-esteem and worthiness that they were hoping for. And they're totally blown away by this. They can't figure out why they don't feel happier about it. And oftentimes they gain the weight back because those saboteurs kick right back up and start talking smack in their heads. Now, what about somebody who's working to lose the 15 pounds, but they're also working on improving the way that they talk to themselves when they look in the mirror, and they're practicing celebrating their wins every day and changing their thought patterns and improving their mindset? What happens when they lose the 15 pounds? They achieve the feelings of worthiness and pride and self-esteem and self-confidence. Why? Because they've been practicing those feelings along the way. They've been building the muscle and developing the skill that will allow them to experience those feelings when they get to their end goal. Now, don't worry, this is a very common thing. We've all fallen into the when then trap. It's really easy to do. I mean, I still do it, even though I know about this. It's just a tempting trap to fall into. This idea of when I achieve this, then I will feel or be this. And we can see why. I mean, achievement is highly praised in our culture. We live in a country of capitalism where you make it on your own, independence is highly revered, and you are highly valued when you achieve big things. And I'm not hating on that. I'm a huge proponent of having big dreams and desires and working hard to achieve things. Like, I'm with you, I'm there. But I also know the feeling of the when then trap. I know personally what it feels like to get to that end goal and have the feeling not live there. It's tough, and it requires more of a harmony. We have to think about this in a different way. You've heard me talk about this before when I've talked about celebrating the wins. We have to look back every once in a while and celebrate the accomplishments we've had and how far we've come so that we have some damn evidence of how capable we are. It makes the process a lot more beautiful and a lot more fun. We actually have more energy and stamina to continue along the path when we do this, when we look back and we celebrate, because it sucks to always be reaching for the horizon without celebrating wins along the way. Because by nature, the horizon is a moving target that we never truly get to. And trust me, it took some time for me to wrap my brain around that. But when I did, I was like, oh my God, I've been chasing something that continues to move. So what does this look like in real life? How do you practice getting better at this in real time? And this is a question that I work on with my clients all the time. And the process is actually pretty simple. When you think about your different when-then traps, just lay it all out for yourself. Think about what the achievement is that you're wanting to accomplish, and then ask yourself this question: what will that give me? What will that give me? And then try to look at it through the lens of feelings. So understanding what the feelings are that you're wanting to feel as a result of achieving that thing. When you understand what the feelings are, then you can start to practice bringing those into your life in real time. You will start flexing and building that muscle. So for example, if you want to feel more safety and security financially, if you want to feel the abundance and joy and opportunity that comes with having a certain amount of money, then start to practice those feelings now. Practice feeling joy and appreciation and gratitude about the things that you currently have, what's around you. Practice generosity with your friends and your family, even if it's just with your time. Practice feeling safety and security and looking for the evidence that you are safe and secure in your life, in your world right now. If you want to feel connection and intimacy and wholeness as a result of being in a relationship, practice those feelings now. Practice having moments of connection with other people, even if it's not intimate. Practice self-love and self-appreciation and start to look within to see your wholeness and your perfection, how capable and resourceful you are, because you are. And you can do this with any example. These are just two very common examples that people struggle with and experience, but you get the idea. The truth is, you are never cut off from the feelings that you desire to feel, team. You always have access to them on a daily basis. We're just not used to thinking about things that way. We've been habitualized into thinking that it's our achievement and our accolades and our material possessions that determine our status and will give us those feelings that we desire to feel. That they'll somehow make us more worthy or powerful. But damn, it's this very idea that separates us from who we really are. Because it has us forgetting that there is always the ability to access feelings of joy or enthusiasm or big energy, optimism, gratitude, appreciation, adventure, intimacy, connection, or whatever it is that you desire to feel. You always have access to those feelings throughout your day, even if it's on a small scale. So my challenge to you today is to think about where you might be falling into the when-then trap in your life for either of the two reasons that we talked about before. And then practice getting clear on what it is that you are hoping each specific achievement will give you. What are the feelings? I bet you'll be surprised about what it is that you're really looking for and hoping to feel, and how you actually have access to it now without even realizing it. So I hope this spurred on some insights for you. Until next time, thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. Watch out for that when-then trap. I hope you have an awesome week. And as always, thanks for being ready to impact. Thanks for listening to Impact Ready. I hope today's episode inspired you to own your impact and recognize that you are powerful. By elevating our energy and awareness, we can create exponential change in this life. If you enjoyed today's insights, share them with a friend and subscribe to the show for more. I truly appreciate you. Thanks again for being here.